Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the geeks out there and all geekdom, and welcome to another podcast, sort of video thingy, live, and all that great stuff that we do on Monday nights. I'm not going to even bother trying to figure out
Geek-Inspired Podcast.
what we are, because it's a podcast and a live stream and everything at once. So just the whole geeky goodness that we give you. So yes, welcome. Today our special guest is not Chewns, although he is a special guest, but he's not the special guest. The special guest
in
is
different ways.
Stop interrupting. We're trying to introduce Wednesday.
My bad.
Our special guest is none other than Wednesday. I forget your surname, from Dum Dum Die. Say hello.
Hello.
There we go.
Sorry for forgetting your surname. Unfortunately, I'm not great with names, let alone surnames.
Oh, no, it's cool. It's Lefey, like of the fairies.
Lefey.
Lefey, yes.
Okay.
Were you born in the forest?
I don't get these names right.
Someone in chat is already saying Wednesday with a whole bunch
Donovan
of... Yeah.
CRC.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
you famous Wednesday.
We got people watching, yeah. Right, so we're going to do the usual. We're going to talk a whole lot of crap. If you'd like to, you can swear on the podcast, because we are
Oh, good.
Well, it depends
Excellent.
Depends on the
Thank you,
shoot.
guys.
You can probably just
Freedom.
be able to swear what's necessary. On our live
It's my
stream, you're allowed
problem.
to swear as much as you want.
Oh, good.
We don't hold back on our live stream. If you've seen any one of them, like Wednesday night's coming up soon, and she's gonna shit herself, just so everyone knows.
Also, just a disclaimer, I'm not going to talk too much because it still hurts from the operation, but I will be here and talk. when I can.
For those of you who don't know, she had her neck cut open the other day so that they could drain lots of fluids. I'm grossing you guys out on purpose.
It was bad.
What is happening
was
right
very
now?
They will not be attending the
E3
GDC
GDCs.
with regards to concerns surrounding the coronavirus. And
Yes.
touch on that.
So we're just gonna touch on that, not the coronavirus, because
Well, we can talk
none of us
about
really
the
want to get
coronavirus.
sick. You know?
Guys, how are you going to get the coronavirus from an online stream?
Well, you know,
Just curious.
if I have to, just like that, you know,
I'm really like,
It's a
I don't
Wi-Fi
know.
born vector.
you
That's
transfer it as people
Oh, must be.
through the
Must
microphone.
be. These viruses are getting clever these days.
They are,
It's a
eh?
cybernetic virus.
Cyberdyne, dude, Cyberdyne. They
Yeah.
figured it out.
The Chewns wanted to talk about
Yeah,
it,
but
and
Chewns,
I-
you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting now that, really, I mean, GDC is a really fairly important event, kind of getting cancelled now because of this threat or so-called scare. But there's conflicting information about like what the actual threat risk of this is, and what the actual potential impacts, how far it's going to go. Like, some people are saying this could be like SARS level, other people are saying that it's isn't that big of a deal, and that so I was wondering, like, what were your guys what are your guys perceptions of the coronavirus, and how does it actually affect you and the people around you and stuff like that?
Not as much
So
as flu.
I just want to ask you a question though. Is this thing that's happening, the GDCs, it's happening in the US, correct?
Yeah. GDC usually happens.
Yeah. So like the thing is, so in China, yes, corona it's huge because it's affecting a whole city, right?
Yeah.
And the reason that it's so massive is because that there's a high population density, so transmission rates are very high, infection rates are very high. But I mean, how many cases have they even?
No idea.
So I mean, for people to be concerned about traveling to the US, it's a bit odd.
Exactly. That's why I thought it was weird. So is there
It
just
is rather strange.
I just checked now, and it's being held in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think it's
that's far away.
I think Sony's I think Sony is just doing what they do best and holding their cards really close to their chest. I think they're using the coronavirus as an excuse to keep them up here so that they know how to actually
Are they? So these are potential health scare to be like, we don't want to go to GDC because we might get sick. That's a very interesting business move.
To announce anything with the PS5 yet, at least not anything of relevance.
But that's a silly excuse to use.
I think it's a silly excuse for Sony to use, but whatever stops the forcing them to actually speak on something that they don't want to talk about yet kind of makes sense in certain aspects. I mean, look, would you really want to talk about the product that you haven't quite finished yet and you're not sure exactly what's going on with it?
But I mean,
that was so controversial.
Hey, thanks for the much appreciated.
I mean, like, the thing is, like, I mean, they were fine with just not going to E3 last year. They didn't even have their own stuff. So.
I suppose, it's like twice that they're going to do this, though. Now it's like it's E3 and then GDC. So maybe it's like both that they've actually just decided, okay, well, we're not going to go to either, so let's just make up an excuse for the second one, just so we don't look like complete tits, for example, which is exactly what will happen.
But also, and don't hate me, to me, I think the coronavirus is taken way out of hand. Yes, people have died and it's sad and all that. But
listen, I love you for saying that. I love you for saying that.
The flu virus has killed more people.
Thank you.
Like the flu.
No, the truth is, it's been blown way too out of proportion. Even I know that.
Exactly.
I've been reading the news and all that, all of that shit. And the truth of the matter is, the coronavirus is no more dangerous than the flu virus. The flu virus has actually killed more people this year and last year than the coronavirus has killed so far.
No one says anything about that.
No one says, we must stop this flu virus. It's a pandemic. It's like, good luck.
Exactly. So it's like, to me, it's like really irresponsible. Like, if you're going to host your thing in San Francisco and then you say, okay, because of the coronavirus, which is happening halfway across the world, and we don't even actually know what is happening, we're not gonna go. Like, it is so weird.
It is
like, is it really a business move? Like, is it PR? Like, I don't know what the thinking is.
That's
like,
bad PR.
Yeah, I think it's just it's arbitrary. I don't think, to be honest, GDC to me is not as important to Sony as they need it to be. Sony really are. I mean, they know how to play their cards close to their chest when it comes to their consoles. The fact that they're actually using this as an excuse is a little bit strange on their part. I think that they should have actually thought it through a bit more and just said, listen, we're not ready to go to GDC. So we're just going to leave it. And when we're ready to announce what we want to announce, we'll announce it. That sounds more like what Sony would do. Look, I'm a little concerned because, who knows what the whole Sony's going to do. Truth of the matter is, who knows what they're going to do, and I've been looking forward to the launch of the PS5 for a while.
Well, segue into the price of the PS5. There's been rumors.
Yes, that was something else that I actually wanted to bring up.
Unless you guys still want to talk about Corona, I think we've got the gist.
No, we passed that part.
We have questions, Sony. We have questions.
We do. We have big questions. Wednesday, you got anything to chuck in there?
What? With regards to Corona? Well, I agree with you guys, and I'm really grateful that you said that you think it's being blown out of proportion, because I'm Chinese, and it's been pretty hectic. So for me also, because I'm quite superstitious, like, we didn't get to celebrate Chinese New Year this year because of the... although the Chinese associations in Joburg cancelled the events to stand in solidarity with what was happening in Wuhan, everybody took it as, oh my God, the Chinese people are going to give us Corona. And I've had friends that have had problems at work with people asking them why they're eating. That's shit.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Stupid.
I've seen I've seen people change their behavior, when they get their wish orders, be like, be like on the phone talking to people, be like, oh, like, are you? Is this going to be fine?
Is it coming from China? Do I lick my package before it arrives to check if I'm going to catch corona?
Over and above that, it's we've ordered a shit ton of stuff from Wish at the moment. Clearly, we're not concerned about the coronavirus, but the fact of the matter is, it's not about that as a whole thing. The whole point is, it's they disinfect anything that goes out anyway. That stuff is like sprayed with a shit ton of poisons and alcohol and anything you can think of to actually get rid of that kind of stuff. So that's the farthest thing from either kids or my mind. Firstly, and secondly, the whole Joburg thing, the cancelling the New Year's festival for the Chinese New Year festival, that's just stupid. Firstly, it's going to sow division. I mean, it seems like South Africans are very good at doing that. South Africans, I mean, I'm not talking about obviously all of us because, we are still South African, but not all South Africans are good at sowing division, but the government's pretty good at it. So they're making out as if, like you said, the Chinese, they're the ones, they're the problem. They are the problem. No, it's not true. The Chinese they didn't cause the virus.
It just happened.
Just happened because they were the ones that got, well, as some of the reports are saying, shat on and bitten by bats. But I mean, again, conflicting reports. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to just see what the research actually comes out with when the research is done. And this is what I can say. People, wait for the fucking research. That's all you have to do. Good God, science. Yes. Please, guys. I mean, we've got a doctor right here. We've got a scientist right here. And he will agree.
There's
wait
two
for
of
the
us.
fucking research.
There's two scientists.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
What do you think actually caused the coronavirus? Because I hear like conflicting reports that it came from like pangolins and then bats and then
so I don't actually know. They isolated it from what I've read, and I haven't read that much. I mean, geez, I'm a bad scientist for not reading everything.
It's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. Like, don't even try.
So they just isolated it to a live food market, so where all the animals are alive when you purchase them. And so I'm not sure which animal it came from, but I am aware of how animal diseases work, and when they're transferred into species to humans, that they are fatal. So it's very much like the swine flu, that kind of thing. I just have no idea which animal it could have come from.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
Guys, on the Geek-Inspired Podcast, you even get educated.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know that much.
You have to have a little bit of knowledge to your fun, and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the whole point of this podcast, isn't it?
Indeed. So the PS5's price. Because we'll see. We'll see whether this.
How much is it?
So what rumors have been saying is that I think this is a report from Bloomberg that they calculated that because of the internal parts that might be in the PS5, specifically the drives and the RAM, the actual cost to make it will be $450 per unit. So potentially, Sony doesn't want to lose money on a console, which is possible for them to do sometimes, depending on their business model. But they did make a profit with PS4. So it could even mean that the PS5 could be $500, maybe $550, $600. Like, who knows?
Jesus. Who's pushing it up to $600? You see, this is the problem. This is the problem with listening to every other Tom, Dick, and Harry out there. Because it's gone from literally $450, which was the cost of the console, right? To resell of, now look, $500 is not bad for the generation of console you're getting and for the kind of product you're getting as well. Just remember, a PC of the same stats will cost us about £2,500. That's a PC of the same stats that a PS5 has got in it. Now, you calculate that in dollars, you're looking at about I think it's about $3,500 roughly for a PC that is the same equivalent as a PS4 or an Xbox. So $500 is nothing. It's peanuts in comparison. And I wouldn't mind paying $500 for a PS5. That's the first thing. And secondly, I highly doubt they're going to push it to $600. Do you really think they're going to lose that much money?
Well, I mean, remember what happened at the start of the PS3 generation, where they...
Yeah, but they're not stupid enough to make that mistake again.
Exactly. But who knows? I mean, like, the thing is, it also comes down to consumer expectation, because, like, think about, like, phones and stuff. Like, phones cost, like, thousands of dollars these days, and people replace them every year, every 2 years sometimes.
If they've got cell phone contracts as well.
Whereas a console generation is between 5 and 7 years. I mean, the last one was, like, really long, between 8 and 10 years, and that was because of, you know, the economic crash in 2008.
But that and the consoles advanced technology that was in it already. So it was twofold, basically.
So there's a really it's a really interesting thing where, okay, in our mind space we decided that consoles need to be this price, but isn't necessarily true, you know, because we give value to things based on what we think they are. So people are paying more money for certain things because, you know, it's just the way that it is. So I just find it weird. The thing is, like, it's really difficult to say whether, you know, I'd be fine with 500, 600 rand. And it also depends on, like, what the launch.
600 rand for a
freaking console. Yeah, 6 grand. Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah, that would be amazing. I'm putting it out there to the universe. So, like, the thing is, like, it's gonna actually come down to, like, what the launch lineup is, whether it's actually worth it to get it at launch in the first place. What is Xbox doing? Because, like, you know, things like whether they pull out of GDC, that might be because Sony is just waiting for Xbox to give their price. So, like, if they're gonna play like chicken on who puts the price first, like, that'll really influence things. It's a really interesting thing going on in the console wars, because the thing is, like, I'm like Sony, you know, for life. Like, I'm a Sony fanboy, but Xbox, like, you have to give Xbox credit for the things that they were doing behind the scenes over the past few years.
There's no doubt. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Donovan has said buying a PC for the same price as a console, and the PC will whip the console's ass. So Donovan, not for the specs that are coming out for the PS5. Unfortunately, for the same price, if you spend $500 on a gaming PC, you're going to get a piece of crap in comparison with what you're getting on a PS5. That's the honest truth for now. But we all know that PC eventually outbeats, especially when it comes to price, console. I play on anything and everything. I don't give a damn what it is. I love playing games, so I don't care what it is.
Master race.
Yeah, so we are what you call the hybrid master race. We are a bit of everything, and we're soldered into everything. However, NVIDIA, the tit from NVIDIA decided to bring out his thing. Consoles aren't our competition. Yeah, consoles aren't NVIDIA's competition. If you look at 2080 Ti going for, how much was it? £2,600? Yes, we're definitely not. The consoles are definitely not the competition. However, saying that, he said that was it NVIDIA? I can't remember. It was one of the companies. I think it might have been Intel, actually, saying that consoles aren't the competition. Now, here's the problem with that. He said that streaming applications were their competition. Streaming applications like Google Stadia, which has thoroughly collapsed in on itself. You know that the one streaming platform that's still working when it comes to games is Sony's PlayStation Now?
PlayStation Now.
You guys don't have it in South Africa.
People use that.
It's in the UK. A lot of people in the UK do. I personally won't because I think it's stupid.
It's terrible.
Well,
it is the future,
like any
though.
Streaming thing. They release it for a couple of months and go and buy the game anyway. What's the point? You know?
I suppose.
Wednesday, what do you think about it?
Wednesday, what is your opinion? I mean, you are the main guest here, so I think we may have lost her. Screen's frozen. Shit.
Wednesday, come back to Monday, please.
There she is.
No, it's still freezing. It's like now she's just changed position.
She was there for a second. She's doing the Thriller dance.
We've lost her. Shit.
Oh dear.
I'm sure she'll be. Your voice is still there.
That's good. That's amazing. Yeah. So I don't know much about console games or that kind of thing, and I don't play computer games at all.
No, you're a D&D all the way.
Yeah, something like that. But I do like PlayStations because I love Tekken. All the Tekken, and that's the only thing.
That's the only thing you play. What about board games Wednesday?
Yeah, I don't think we lost her again.
Wednesday's dying on us.
I'm drunk.
You
feels like there's a zombie apocalypse happening.
Yeah, no, it's a computer version of the coronavirus is sent through the internet. Her internet broke because I sneezed into the mic.
Oh dear.
Shit. I jinxed it.
She's just hitting us with like dance moves like from the 90s.
If you want to Wednesday, you can switch over to just
there we go.
makes it
She's
a bit
back.
easier for you.
It may do. I'm gonna.
What?
Did it work?
I don't know. It's still quite. I can't tell from my side. We'd have to get an answer from
No, but
Chewns as well.
you guys sound a lot better. You guys sound
Okay, yeah.
because
Audio
earlier
is
I
better.
was hearing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is
no,
better.
it sounds a bit better from my side. Granted, I'm running like about things on the PC, so I can't hear everything
guys,
Kes hears.
technical difficulties. Yeah.
I just can't hear everything Kes hears. She hears everything, so if I miss something, I'll just look at her and she can answer me. Wednesday, what is your opinion on the whole expensive? Okay, wait, let me do expensive PS5.
Isn't it like 16 rand, 18 rand?
It's like 16.
It's hard to tell these days.
Ow.
15 rand.
Oh,
So 16.
better than I
What's
thought.
the pound?
$2.
Dollar's weakened a bit.
So what are we looking at?
Okay,
like
no, that looks pretty good.
$3 would be,
$500 looks pretty good. Like $7.5 bad.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I think $500 is reasonable. Like, I don't think we can expect it to be $400.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Because then they're making a loss.
Yeah, because then, well, firstly, Sony making a loss. Secondly, I didn't expect it to be anything less than $500. I mean, when they said, when Sony said, looking at around 50, maybe a bit higher, I was thinking that seems a bit low. I assume it'll go higher because you know what? You're paying for a damn good product. It's not like you're paying for a piece of shit. You're actually paying for a decent product. So I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Okay, what is next on the list? Let's get the energy back.
That streaming thing.
Oh yes, the CBS streaming thing.
Yeah.
So I want to actually jump in on this like really quickly.
Yeah, go for it.
And just say one thing. Too many companies are doing too many streaming services. You may as well just own another bloody DSTV if that's the case. Do you know how expensive it is for us, for example, to get Sky here in the UK? It's like you guys owning DSTV in South Africa. It's ridiculous. You get it, and then you have to pay for advertising. How awesome is that? But over and above that, I mean, you look at CBS, Disney, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, all of these companies. Do you know how many more are we going to get before they realize that people are just going to switch back to something else, and then all of those platforms are going to die?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my ranting. I think that they're being silly.
Yeah.
So many platforms.
I totally agree with you. It's like there's gonna be a breaking point at some point, but I don't know like what the solution is gonna be. Like, I mean, Jonathan did say that there are people thinking of like a conglomeration, services, and there are stuff like that, like Verve, conglomerates like Crunchyroll and like Rooster Teeth and Geek and Sundry and stuff like that. So would we get? They should have done.
Like Netflix. Netflix had the idea. They were basically streaming everything. They had everything available. Then suddenly Disney's like, oh, we're getting greedy. Let's just take the money that we're getting from Netflix and tell them, fuck you, we're just going to take that as well. Then CBS is doing the same thing. Fuck you, we want our own money too. Every time they do this, more and more people just buggering off from Netflix and making Netflix obsolete. And making streaming obsolete, which is just going to go back to TV.
I do not think Netflix is obsolete. Netflix?
No, Netflix is winning.
You know what I mean.
I know. I know what you mean. Yeah. But it just comes down to business. Like they are not willing to share the money. They would rather have the initial cost of building the website, which is not that difficult these days, and taking all the money instead of leaving it with Netflix.
What they're trying to do is they're saying, okay, we want to take all the profits for ourselves and not give profits to Netflix or whatever, whichever company is controlling it. As soon as they do that, then people are just going to go, well, okay, we're going to stop just streaming anything anymore, and we're just going to jump on 7 and download everything because we'll just go back to the good old days, because if you're going to keep screwing us, we're just not going to pay you anything. So they either get all of the profits for a short while or none of the profits forever. That's the two options that they have. They're stuffing. Let me put it right. They're fucking their business model up.
It's at this point, it's a risky move. Like, considering how many and how often, it's like almost weekly at this point that a new streaming service is being announced. Like
it's the wrong move.
I don't know what they're doing.
Agreed.
But, we'll see how the future is. But it's like not looking bright like before. Before we were all happy about Netflix, and like now we're like, what is happening?
It's like me going to pay for a BBC TV license now. I'm not going to do it anyway.
What? How much does it cost?
Should you really be saying that like live?
Oh, well, no, you don't get it. Okay, in the UK, different from South Africa. Right,
you don't need one.
So how it works in the UK is you can buy a TV, you can buy and own a TV, you just cannot watch BBC. You can't watch anything on BBC because you won't be able to connect to BBC. Essentially, if you do, it's an illegal connection and you're not allowed to do it. So you can buy a TV, you can own a TV. The TV license is so that you can watch BBC. Now, what's happening here in the UK as well is that the Prime Minister has decided that the BBC doesn't get the right to actually force people to pay for a TV license because they get all their revenue from advertising anyway. They don't need license as well, so they're being forced to actually quit their TV license escapade. And I'm not really going to pay for a TV license. I think it's a waste of money. I'm just going to
makes sense
getting a streaming service and running on a streaming service rather. Well, Netflix at this point.
Netflix
hold a decent amount of shows and movies. And obviously Blu-rays, which I'm going to be starting to buy a little bit more now.
Is it?
Because
really?
Well, yeah, dude. Because have you seen the Dark Knight trilogy on Netflix? Like the entire thing?
No.
Exactly. We got it on Blu-ray.
Is that the only way you can get the Dark Knight?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't. I think Amazon's got it, but I'm not really concerned about that. I'm not paying for 1,000 different streaming services. I think
it's becoming problematic.
Yeah. But we're not going to go further than 2 streaming services at any given time because I've got my PS Plus account that we have to pay for. We've got our streaming services that we have to pay for. We've got other services that we have to pay for as well. We don't have time for spending more money on bullshit. But that's just me. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'm in full agreement with you that it's getting a bit ridiculous now. And But I don't know, like, it's difficult to say where it's gonna go. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
indeed, we are gonna have to get our peg leg and eye patches out from the cupboard, dust them off. if you want.
That is the best way to say it.
Dust them off, and because now I'm gonna do that still
Sell
to
7 Cs again.
and sell the 7 Cs. Right, so I'm with you, Zeph. It's ridiculous. What about you, Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm in total agreement. I mean, like two is more than enough. Netflix, Amazon Prime, don't need anything else.
No, of course not. I don't know why Disney had to get greedy. They're greedy enough as it is the buying up of Marvel and destroying the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Kids especially because she knows that I have lots of goes at Disney. I don't like Disney. I don't think that what they've done is right. I think they've destroyed everything that we held dear as Star Wars
entertainment in general.
And entertainment in general, because good God, did you see The Lion King?
Well, you haven't.
I haven't.
Did you know that Disney changed copyright laws just to keep Mickey Mouse to themselves so that it doesn't go to public domain? That's how much influence they have. Like, they influence the law. Like, it's crazy.
Jeez,
typical Disney, eh?
They
just know how to spoil everyone's fun.
The weirdest thing is how you can be such a big company and then not release worldwide. Like that. It's like you have all of this money, all of this resources, and you can't get this one thing right.
Dude, apparently we're only getting it on the 24th of March. So.
Yeah. It came out in the Netherlands first. They beta tested it in the Netherlands for some reason, and in the US. Yeah, I don't know what Disney is doing.
It's cut off your biggest market. Your biggest markets, South Africa. Yes, they may be a third world country, but South Africa's got to do it, and you got the UK. I mean, the whole of the UK.
The whole of the UK.
No, you guys can't have it. Fuck you! You don't get anything. You're mean to us.
What is next on the list? Or is there anything next on the list?
Agenda.
What's next on the agenda?
What's on the
agenda? Yeah, what's next on the agenda, guys?
God blanche.
D&D and science stuff.
Oh yeah.
D&D and science stuff.
So Wednesday, why don't you get the ball rolling by actually telling everybody a bit about what you do in the geek culture space?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I am part of the Dum Dum Die team, and what we are is all female, all awesome, live action brew D&D podcast. And now Twitch stream. Yay, we went live last year.
Congrats.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yay! So we do the things, and we roll dice, and we pretend to be other people, and it's great.
When did you?
Real life is just too damn hard.
When did you start role playing?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I started role playing so long ago. It may well be 900 years ago.
900 years. Are you a vampire? Or you're a fairy?
I might be. People, I've had a few disagreements over what species I actually am. But generally, it's dependent on what I'm wearing at the time. So
Indeed.
So right now,
you're a dress for the job that you want.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I dress for D&D. So
what are your then earliest experiences of role playing? How did you actually get so involved?
Well, actually, I was at UCT and I joined the Cape Legion of Adventure Gamers, and they were really cool. I mean, as a role-playing group, the year that I started, which was so long ago, that I'm not going to tell you when it was.
Giving away her age there, guys.
Exactly.
Just say back in the dem days.
At that stage, at that stage, I was role playing, and that was like tabletop and LARPing about 6 days a week. Like while I was in university.
6 days a week, yo.
6 days a week.
Had time.
So you were like
exactly.
hardcore.
When I had
this
no responsibility, I was trying to do was pass math.
Yeah. I miss those days.
Yeah. So that's how I got into role playing, and then I left Cape Town and I came back to Joburg, and I stopped for a little while, and then I went to the UK and I tried to get back into role playing, and it just didn't work because I was a bit of a snob. I still am. So I'm very iffy when it comes to groups and GMs and all of that thing. So yeah, so it took a while. And then when I got back to Joburg again after being in the UK for a few years, I started role playing again, and I got like back into it completely. And then I met Carla, and she played her first role playing game in a campaign that I was in. And then a few years later, she said, "Hey, please audition for Dum Dum Die." And I was like, "Oh, cool. I don't really like D&D, but I'll do it." So yeah.
So what has your experience been with not only role playing but also creating content as well at the same time?
In terms of content creation, like it's very different for me because I'm a geneticist, so I don't create content. Like, you know, in my day job. So it's been really weird. Like the one thing that I still need to wrap my head around is social media. Like, guys, like why? Like then it's Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and then we have to do things on YouTube, and then I'm so confused. I'm really glad that other people handle that stuff and I don't have to. Because even posting weekly is like it's dodged. Like I sit there for like half an hour. Okay, I need to write a blurb for the episode.
Not always easy.
Exactly.
It's a skill.
And it's got to be like a one-liner.
It's a skill you learn over time, and with like experience, and but also I think it's for like certain type of people. Like some people just don't want to be posting, you know, their thoughts or anything online. You know, I know some people who like don't want anything to do with the internet like at all. Even though the internet is such a big part of, you know, how the world is running these days. But yeah, like for content creators like us, like we have to know like the ins and outs, you know, of all social media platforms. Like I'm like now thinking like, how do I like turn my brand into such a way that I can actually like provide content on TikTok, you know.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Of all places,
that's another level.
The thing is, there's a lot of attention on TikTok. Like if you want brand recognition, you have to be where the eyes are. So, but the problem is,
for a while, you'll hear the TikTok of the clock in our office.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, so it's a really difficult. Like if you want to be in the social media space, like. You really need to you have to like walk a line between being yourself and then following trends and like not falling too far down either side.
Take advice, guys. This is very wise advice, right? Yeah. So you guys watching who want to become content creators, what he's saying right now, it's true for every content creator.
So it takes a lot of like time and energy and knowledge and just trying stuff. So I can imagine it's daunting just to like post a thing, but it goes like on deeper levels. Like me and Kiz know, like it goes on deep levels. Like it's crazy.
You were clear just said. He said so much research. That is like the ultimate. I mean, honestly, you know, when okay, I'm going to get crude here. When I actually go to the bathroom doing research, I'm sitting on my phone and I'm looking for the news, what's happened recently, all of that crap. And then when I get it, okay, excuse the pun about all of that crap, but the fact of the matter is that, I then tell Kez, look, this is what's going on. This is the news. Like, for example, like last week, sorry, when she was in hospital, I was telling her about the proposed prices for the PS5 and all the bullshit that's been spread about that. And we were talking about putting that on the podcast as well, because everything's important at this point. So you never stop researching. It's just whether you keep it in mind or not.
Yeah.
Because you can forget very quickly.
Yeah. It's a constant learning game. So I can see why it's daunting, because there's just so much. There's so much to consider. Like,
yeah.
But if you love doing it, I mean, you're never going to stop, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the beauty of a passion project, is that the passion is what drives you to actually continue doing it.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter like how lucrative it is, just more like, oh, but I really love doing this.
That is so important.
And I really like engaging with this audience that I'm engaging with.
Which reminds me, the two of you need to actually log into stream on Wednesday night.
No, let's not talk
No, the reason why is because I'm going to be playing Resident Evil 2, and Kiss is going to be watching.
Yeah, we do scary videos on Wednesdays.
And already she's not keen. She saw a little bit of it and she's like, Back to you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, back to Kez. It was just that part. I thought it was necessary. Carry on.
My question is, if you were given the chance to do your role playing and everything like on a more full-time basis, would you do it, or
yes,
would you keep it like that so that you don't let your passions mix or whatever? I know obviously we all everything anyway, but sometimes people have the idea that they want to do it full time and then they go all snobby and stuff and lose the reason why they actually started getting into it.
I don't know. So for me, definitely, I would totally roleplay full time.
You'd be snobby, sis man.
I'm already a snot. Okay, I don't even need anything else to not be there. I would totally roleplay full time. If I could support myself and my family in role playing, I would do it. I would do it at the drop of the hat because I was born to role play. I'm a fucking rock star.
Good, I like that energy.
Nice.
I like that energy.
That's really awesome energy, yeah.
That's good.
What plans do you have in place to do that?
So at the moment, what Dum Dum Die is doing with our Twitch stream is we have gone interactive. And that's really a great way for us to engage with our audience, with our fans, with the rest of the RPG community, because watching somebody roleplay as a role player is not fun. Guys, I'd rather shoot myself than watch somebody else roleplay.
Yeah, unless they do it really well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like Critical Role, they are amazing, but I haven't watched a full episode yet. Like, I love role playing; it's a lifestyle for me. But I haven't watched a full episode of Critical Role. I know how successful they are. Exactly. I'm just like, but I'm not involved. I'm not role playing. So why would I? Why would I do this?
I get that. I do.
Yeah.
Like me.
So we added
with streamers. It's exactly the same thing. I mean, I'm a gamer. Okay, full on gamer. I'll do D&D and. I'm sure Chewns knows. So we had a lot of fun. The one night we did actually stream that. But it's the same thing with gaming. You Twitch streamer. In my opinion, I fall asleep. I'm just sitting there like, I'd rather play the game.
That's why if any of you are watching that, I watch.
That's why Kez watches. Yeah. You'll notice I never watch. If I watch, I get so bored and I just want to go and play a game on my PlayStation. I can't. I actually can't. But I do try and support as much as I can. That's why I have them
Yeah. I mean, I just like to hang out like with my content creator friends, and like just show support.
Yeah.
Show them.
Okay, look, stop making me look like a dick now, man.
That wasn't my intention.
It is. the intent is there. I lurk. I literally put the game on. I watch. I let them sit there and I listen to them as they talk, but I don't watch them play. I'm not interested in what they're playing. I'm interested in listening to them. But I'm playing like Minecraft or something ridiculous like that, just because. You know, you can say that as much as you want to. You know, it's true.
Hole.
I'm not digging any kind of hole, and you know it.
It is fun. It is fun. So Wednesday, would you ever consider like acting as a profession? Because like, how far is role playing from like just being an actor?
So I've wanted to go into that, and I want to be like an extra in movies and stuff. But like the entertainment industry is rough. Like it's highly competitive. Like
come here.
You know, they look for very specific things, and that's the issue.
You should really come here.
You know, I'm like over 900 years old. Like getting into the entertainment industry now is a bit of a fail.
Yeah, not the right demographic. 900 years old.
You're killing me.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, there's that. But also, and this is the thing. So I love role playing. So I want to get into entertainment through that.
Yeah.
I also love to be in like professional photographs. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I could totally just like be in like 100 different photos in 100 different like ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
tell you
it's
what,
like-
if you guys come up for a visit sometime, you know, between now and the next 3 months, I think, you might be able to get a chance to act in Batman because it's being filmed in Glasgow.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
And I work in Glasgow. They've actually closed the street I work in.
And they're asking if he wants to be an extra.
They did. I said no.
Why?
Why?
Because I don't want to be an extra in a movie that Barkley Vampire has been in. Thank you very much.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
I've got some dignity.
Irrespective. Dude, you just put your face in there, and then you shamelessly plug it on this podcast or stream or whatever it is. That's what you do.
Oh,
Like,
the
that's
banner.
what it's for.
It's like,
You know what? I shamelessly plug us all the time. Whenever I'm walking around, people are like, "You're from South Africa?" I'm like, "Yes, and we have a Twitch channel. Follow us." I got no problem shamelessly plugging us everywhere. Trust me.
Anyway.
And I try and get everyone else in as well. I'm good at that. You know, you guys should know I'm the talker. Truth is like, yeah, come on.
so Wednesday, does like so I get the feeling like you feel like maybe your current daytime job is like not creative enough. So do you feel like you're like inherently creative and you just decided to go like down a different path?
Yeah. I don't know. I think the biggest problem with my day job is that it's too real.
Too real.
It's too real, yeah. So the reason I like to roleplay is when anybody likes to game. But with me, it's also the fact that I would much rather live in reality than live in this one. Because this one is harsh, it's cruel, it's ugly. And in my head, even that harsh ugliness, it's not nearly as bad as it is in real life. Yeah, so it's that kind of thing. It's just like, well, if I could exist in another reality, it would be like loads better.
It's escapism. It is
exactly.
a heavy form of escapism. That's why I like D&D as well. Like, you just get to embody this character. Well, I'm mostly a DM. I'm a #forever DM. I'm DMing all the time. So you just get to, be someone else, for a while. And it's like, and it's like, it just makes you forget about stuff, and like just focus on stuff, which is really cool.
Come boy. Come here.
You guys calling over a cat.
Is it a cat?
He's moaning. He's moaning. I'll show you who it is now. Give me a second.
While you continue your...
Yeah.
your thoughts.
Please do continue, Chewns.
Oh,
I thought it was done. What was I saying?
yes, man.
Oh, there we go.
You were talking about escapism.
Oh yeah. It's a. I think it's one of the forms of escapism where you get to like do different things. Like you can choose, like with D&D, what you get to bring to it as a whole. Like if you, in creative, in like making like painting miniatures, like that is part of D&D. Or if you're creative and like wanting to be like a voice actor, you can do that. If you're creative in wanting to be a game designer, then you can be creative in that way. So it just allows you to like plug in really what some of your main hobbies are, what your main likes are, and then people come together to add different bits to make this whole that everybody enjoys. And that's what I like about D&D.
This is who I was calling, by the way. New Panda. He's the cutest little boy. He's a very old boy. He's over 20 years old.
Oh wow.
He's a very old boy.
So do you have plans? What is your 2020 plan?
Your 2020 vision.
2020 visions for myself. So because I'm here as part of the Geek Sphere, it's not for myself, it's only for Dub. So 2020 visions for us, we want to do events. We want to bring more people into the RPG community, first timers, experienced role players, people who have been out of the loop for a while. We want to bring you guys back. We want to introduce the young people to role playing as a general, because it's actually, it could be quite good for you. Also because like I have a kid and too much screen time. Can we please rather talk to real people?
Unplugged.
Like in real life, just a little bit. That kind of. So we just want to open up to the community. We want to do more things. So we are planning multiple events with in Joburg, like the Nexus Hub, as well in Randburg. We want to run like our own sort of events as well. So we're thinking, schools, like school events or like art festival, or, one of the ideas we have in the pipeline is possibly a singles night, like a role-playing singles night. A tabletop singles night, that kind of. So we want to get involved. We want to be more on the same level as well. We want to bring people in and bring the interaction in. One of the things we're doing now as well is we are planning to audition for the next player on Dum Dum Die, because Nicole went to China to teach English, so we're short on looking to already after, that kind of thing.
Can you hear me? Okay, it must be the computer. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put that information up so that you guys can actually, if anyone's looking on our side, you can just communicate with Dum Dum Die directly from here. But Kuya actually just dropped a message saying D&D is the grandfather of everything. In which case, the great-grandfather of everything is J.R.R. Tolkien, because he's the one who created the beautiful world that we all actually love to live in, which is fantasy.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You cannot forget what Tolkien said. Tolkien was, or what he did, because he's the one who created everything for us in that aspect. I mean, granted, okay, everything's taken out of mythology and so on and so on, but Tolkien really was like the great-grandfather of all D&D and all that. He created the cool dragons that we see today and the elves, hobbits. I love Tolkien, just so you guys, if you guys didn't figure that
Tolkien
out.
is classic. It is.
I totally didn't notice. I didn't notice that all.
Yeah, sure you didn't.
And for you as Wednesday, for 2020, or is there nothing for you?
Well, for me, yeah. So it's been a bit of a rough year, like personally. Like I know it's not even the first quarter yet, but yeah, it's been hectic.
It's everyone.
Yeah. So I am currently, aside from my time job, I run a research lab. I also am trying to finish my doctorate this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
Nice.
a lot.
What is your thesis in?
So my topic is actually theology function.
Now you cut out when I need the information.
I'm so sorry. The genetic etiology of cognitive function.
What? That's pretty cool. Jeez, that's high level stuff.
I wish I knew what I was talking
That's extremely high level stuff. Like, okay, I sold the shit. Okay, I don't count.
So, are you trying to figure out like where in the DNA actually produces your way to think?
Yes. So what I'm actually looking at, where like a lot of people confuse intelligence and like basic cognitive function, but I'm looking at things like your susceptibility, for example, to develop things like dementia, because what those sorts of diseases are is they are just sort of a problem with your cognitive function. So like it just starts to decline, or there's like an issue with it, and it can be caused by like a number of, but specifically with me, because my research institute focuses on African population, we're trying to look at the differences in terms of things like, for example, there's a mutation that makes you at high risk for Alzheimer's, but not in African populations. In other populations, it is, but in Africa, it isn't. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to tease out like where those associations are, because at the end of the day, that'll help us to develop sort of, treatments and like be able to cater to all populations, because we are, we're a whole world. We're not just one group.
Yeah, so you're the one helping to solve the Alzheimer's problem.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty damn epic.
It's not really solve. It's more like trying to like tease things apart and tell people, look, there is such a thing as population substructure, and in some populations medications work, but in other populations they don't, and we need to try and figure out why. Yeah.
Well, you'll be just as much a cause to helping cure, or at least, diminish and start to actually stop Alzheimer's and diseases like that, which is pretty damn epic if you ask me. Don't sell yourself short in that aspect. I mean, from what I've just heard now, you are playing a pretty integral role in actually helping. So don't ever sell yourself short on that.
Sounds like really noble work.
Yeah, I agree. Very noble work, actually.
What is your opinion of Alzheimer's being type 3 diabetes, like a form of insulin resistance?
It is basically. No, I mean it is. The reality that as our populations get older, as we're living longer, doesn't necessarily ensure that we are living healthier. And it's that kind of thing. So things are going to start to fail. Your body fails, your mind will fail. So you won't be able to cure it unless we can all become immortal and live forever young. Like there's no way to fix that. But it's more about sort of, it's more about mitigating the negative effect.
That's cool.
It is. It's pretty epic, actually. Yeah, that's nice to see. My honest, humble opinion. As, lowly.
It's not nice that if your body
deteriorates,
your mind irritates.
Yeah.
Deteriorates or whatever.
Yeah.
To me, these are all. But
as a lowly circuit board solderer, I can honestly say it's a lot better than anything I'll ever do. I mean, to be honest, the most I'm doing, as I've said before, that's all cares. I'm going to be studying history.
Anyway.
Everybody has their own impact on the world.
Everybody has their own impact, yeah.
Anyway, no, it's not about me. It's about you guys. Come, it's about me. I mean, about you guys.
It's not about me. It's not about me.
It's about you guys. It's about you guys.
I don't know. And like the grief of most scientists, that you work your whole life and not actually make impact. So yeah, that's a real thing.
It's a thing I struggle with myself.
You don't have to worry about that. You just go back in time. You don't go forward in time. So everything's that side. It's way back there.
Yeah, but studying history in itself, because it allows you to look back on what's changes, how do we get
She got out.
I missed that. I missed most of that.
I also missed that.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
PCB,
The Technical Difficulties Podcast. 101.
Yeah, it's we should start changing the name from the Geek-Inspired Podcast to the Technical Difficulties Podcast. Forever a freaking
we'll
problem.
figure it out. But yeah, it's been a fun one. Wednesday is very interesting. And
Thank you.
we've talked about
awesome.
we talked about some interesting stuff.
I'm joking.
Hump day.
I'm joking. Before I get clapped.
Wednesday, do you get hump day, like what do you call it, teasings?
I've already thought of a couple.
I don't actually, strangely enough.
No one's thought of it.
I'm such a giant. No, I'm such a giant snob, and I'm so intimidating in person that like people just won't do it.
I suppose.
When I didn't see you the first time, I was like, oh.
Exactly.
The thing is,
I'm
like,
super intimidating.
From afar maybe, but like soon as you you speak to you, and then you're like, it's the opposite. You're on a polar thing where you're like, okay, this doesn't kind of match up. Like it messes with your brain a bit, but overall the experience is great.
Big aura, okay. I have a really big aura.
Hump Day Wednesday has no one actually hit you with that joke. Come on. It's there. I mean, it's so easy.
It's right there. It's like low-hanging
Not
fruit.
one, guys. As I said, I'm super intimidating. And I have a long sword in my car most days, so...
Indeed. People know not to mess with Wednesday.
I mean, on Wednesday, come on, you just gotta go, and like the boyfriend walks up and goes, it's Hump Day Wednesday, babe.
Oh dear.
No, I don't see him on Wednesday.
I think that's our cue to end the podcast. Okay. Why don't we wrap it up?
But it is about time we actually end the podcast anyway. It's not because of that. It's just because it's actually
late.
to end the
It's late.
Because we can't have
Chewns is just being a dick about it.
So that Chewns has to get a little
Chewns has to sleep because he's got work. I'm pretty sure you've also got work in the morning.
Yeah,
so
we both are still in academia.
Yeah, for us it's only 8:30, so as soon as daylight savings changed, it'll be easier for us. But right now
it's rough. Yeah.
So so we're gonna close it off there. So what we're gonna do is every Monday, as we end off the stream, we have to actually first hit up our guest.
Any
Where's
kind of
Lefey? Any
You need to say that again.
Yeah, you need to repeat that. You cut out. Yeah.
Yeah, you cut out.
Okay, on every Monday we have to obviously give shout out to our esteemed guests. So firstly, any words of wisdom Wednesday?
Wisdom.
Any words
Wisdom
of wisdom to our viewers?
Oh, wisdom.
Advice, guidance, anything.
Yeah, there you go.
Guidance. Okay, guys, don't be dicks about coronavirus. Don't be dicks about.
Yeah. If you can learn anything from today's podcast, it's don't be a dick about the coronavirus.
Don't be a dick about coronavirus. And the other thing is enjoy yourself. Life is really short.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your hobby, whatever they may be. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Where can we find you, Wednesday? That's one of the most important Where can we find you and the Dum Dum Die team?
Okay, so Dum Dum Die is on all the social media. Everything is just Dum Dum Die. Except if you would like to email us, then it's dumdumdiepod@gmail.com. Yes, and we are absolutely everywhere on all the social media. If you want to interact with us on Twitch, we stream at 7:15 on Tuesday evening. That's GMT +2. And then just like personally, I'm Wednesday Lefey on social media. I'm not on everything, guys. I don't know how to. So it's just Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
No, that's good enough. That's really good enough. Yeah,
that's enough.
All right, Chewns, it's your turn, bro. For everyone out there who hasn't already,
you can find me. You can find me at Geekoscopy. Unfortunately, I did not mirror my image, so it's backwards.
It's the right way around, actually.
It's the wrong way around.
Yeah. But yeah, you can find me at Geekoscopy on most of the social medias, except for, like we say every week, AIM and AOL and Yahoo and MySpace and
No, not yet.
Yeah.
He's going to be Kuya's on.
Yeah, at Geekoscopy. That's where you can find me.
Yeah, there you go. It's on his hat. Easy enough to remember. Right, Kez, as you know, you were the one who do it, don't I? All right, Kez's mouth is too sore, although her throat. She's got a massive knife cut right there. See, right there. Nice cut.
Yeah.
Right, so she can't really speak very much, so I'll be doing everything this time. All right, firstly, Kez is going to wave and say hello. Say the words.
Hello and bye-bye.
There we go. Okay, now I'm going to do the rest. All right, so you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, you name it, we're there. Okay, I'm not going to carry on because just...
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. I'm sure everyone else will appreciate it too. Remember to give everyone here a follow, a like, and just, share the love, guys.
And once it's ready, it'll be
she's
up
back.
on...
She is.
There she is. It'll be up on Spotify and all the other links. I will put the link to the Discord channel for the Geek-Inspired Podcast on here as well, where you can get all the links. I'm trying. So there you can get the link to the YouTube channel as well as the Anchor channel, which has all the audio ones.
But anyway, guys, remember to follow this one here and
where is it over there?
We're pointing to you from our side because this is live stream for us. So it's up here and over there.
So if we point to you, like,
yeah, we might be in different directions.
Nice.
It feels like we're doing the Dragon Ball fusion. We're not turning into anybody.
Oh yeah.
Right, so you give those guys a follow and you give all of us a follow, and we'll be greatly appreciating that. So guys, remember, as always, keep it geeky. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.